Croeso, welcome to the Welsh Lamb Meat Quality Project Update, July 2020. And here we'll be showing you some of the work that we've been doing over the past few months and some of the consumer taste panel work that we're up to. So we're working with then the whole of the supply chain, from farmers all the way through to the consumer, and some of the work that we're doing here at Hubby Cymru.
We have the Welsh Lamb Meat Quality Project. This project will be discussed further today. Here we are linking the farmer to the consumer and gaining consumer feedback on PGI Welsh Lamb meat products. The aim is to investigate farm and processing factors that enhance eating quality and to understand more about the variation in Welsh Lamb eating quality. The Welsh Lamb Meat Quality Project is looking at different on-farm and processing factors. These include breed type, meat cut, lamb gender, lamb diet and slaughter age. And lambs involved in this trial will be also taste tested by consumer taste panels. And the reason for this is that we want to understand what the public think about PGI Welsh Lamb and to gain a wide range of feedback, especially on the attributes of eating quality measurements. These include tenderness, juiciness, flavour, aroma and overall liking. Also, these lamb samples will also be assessed for fatty acids and minerals. These include total intramuscular fat content, also the N3, which are the omega-3 fatty acids, the healthy fatty acids that you can find in lamb, and also zinc and iron content to investigate can lamb be considered a source of these minerals. Shelf life practices as well will be investigated throughout the supply chain. So for the first trial, we were looking at 3 different factors. These include breed type, meat cut and lamb gender. Trial 1 will be described by my colleague Elizabeth Swancott. I'll hand you over now to Elizabeth.
Diolch Eleri. I'm Elizabeth and I've been working on the Red Meat Development Programme as a Programme Officer, working with farmers and processors from across Wales in order to collect lamb samples for the consumer taste panels. And today I will tell you about how the sample collection took place. Thank you. Throughout the Welsh Lamb Meat Quality Project, we'll be focusing on-farm and processing factors that may impact the meat eating quality of Welsh lamb. Trial 1, which ran from 2019 through into early 2020, focused on 2 different possible factors that could impact on meat quality. The first was breed type and the second was muscle cut. We worked with 3 different abattoirs from across Wales to source 96 lambs. Of these 96 different lambs, there was a balance of the 3 breed types, this being hill, crossbred and terminal. From these lamb carcasses, we then took 3 different muscle cuts, being the loin, chump and top side, taking both the left and right side. One side was used in the nutritional analysis, with the other side being used for the consumer taste panels. Sample collection of these lambs took place from November 2019 through into January 2020 at PGI Welsh abattoirs. These lamb samples were then made into 3,360 different samples for the consumer taste panels, which took place from January to February 2020 in 3 different locations throughout the UK. As breed type was a focus for Trial 1, we looked to get a variety of different breeds to include in the project from throughout Wales. Within the hill group, we had a variety of different Welsh mountain types, improved Welsh and also included some Beulah Speckled Face. The terminal lambs are mainly sired by a Texel, Suffolk or Rouge, and with the crossbred lambs we used a variety of different Welsh mules. Some farms supplied more than 1 breed type. For example, some of the farms supplied both hill and terminal lambs. Within these breed types, there was a balance. Half of the lambs were entire ram lambs, with the remainder being castrates. During lamb sample collection, we worked with 22 different farms in order to source the 96 lambs that were required for the taste panels. We targeted lambs to be within specification of EUR and fat class 2 to 3L. However, some of the lambs, as you can see from the table, verged into the 3H and 4L fat class categories. These lambs were used as we are looking to have a balanced carcass that would provide us with enough meat in order to supply the consumer taste panels, as well as having enough meat for the nutritional analysis. Fat class was taken into account, recorded and will be included in the results. All of the farms supplying lambs to the project were asked a farm information survey. This allowed us to gain background information into how the lambs were reared during that last 6 weeks prior to slaughter. We could then relate the on-farm factors back to what the consumers found during the taste panel event. The majority of farms supplying lambs were classified as upland, with 33% being predominantly hill and the remainder were lowland. The main focus on the survey was to get background information into the finishing system and in particular the diet. This is something we will focus more on in Trial 2. 67% of the lambs were finished outdoors. The diets within this group included a variety of different root crops, lambs fed predominantly on grass as well as a mixture of grass and concentrate feeding. 28% of the lambs were finished indoors and the remainder were finished in a mixture of indoor and outdoor finishing systems. On average, the journey transportation time from farm to abattoir was just over 1 hour. In terms of carcass weight, we look to have lambs within target spec of 16 to 21 kilograms. Although we did slightly go over this 21 kilogram mark, the reason for this was to get enough sample for the consumer taste panels. Breaking this down into the breed type, the crossbred lambs were the heaviest on average at 19.8 kilograms, and the lightest lambs were the hill lambs. In terms of the gender, the castrate lambs are found to be on average 1 kilogram lighter than the ram lambs. Overall, the average carcass weight of all the breeds was 19.5 kilograms. Thank you very much. I will now hand back over to Hilary, who will give you more of an insight into the consumer taste panels and our plans for next year. Thank you.
Thanks, Elizabeth. So now we will discuss the consumer taste panels. So firstly, we advertise to the different social groups in the area where the events are occurring that we need 20 people to attend each taste panel. And this is so that the experiment then and the trial is balanced for these different consumer groups. We can do 60 people per day. At this stage, the consumers do not know that the meat samples they are about to eat are Welsh. So firstly, they are welcomed onto site, and once there are 20 people that are on site, then we invite them to sit down into individual booths. And the reason for this then is that so that they can't influence their neighbour on the eating quality of the meat samples that they are tasting. However, it has been scientifically designed so that the person next to you will have a completely different sample. So it doesn't matter if there is some conversation going on, but not necessarily wanting them to be influenced. And then on the table in the individual booths, they will get a demographic questionnaire. And this mainly is asking questions about their social backgrounds and questions such as how many children live in your household and what job do you have and your previous experience of lamb. These questionnaires then do not ask the consumers for their details such as their names or addresses. So all the information that we gather then is anonymous. So what happens then is that they are given lamb samples. So they have a lamb sample with a code written on the plate as well. And they are invited then to taste and rate the lamb samples. And this then is based on the attributes, as I mentioned earlier, like liking of aroma, tenderness, juiciness, liking of flavour, and overall liking. And as you can see on the sheet next to us here, they then have to check the code on the top of the sheet to ensure that they are assessing the right sample to the code that is on the plate. And then they write then a vertical line on the 10 centimetre line scales. And this then gives us a quality rating of the different eating quality parameters. We also ask them to judge or rate the meat sample as well in terms of its quality, so that they write then if it's they write a little X in the box then for if it's unsatisfactory, satisfactory everyday quality, better than everyday quality, or premium quality as well. And then after this work then they are invited then to come into another room where they receive a short presentation by the HCC team about the lamb samples that they have tasted today, and to also learn a bit more about the trial and also the nutritional benefits of Welsh lamb and where they can purchase it from. The consumer taste panels then took place across 3 locations: Belfast, Cardiff and Newport in Shropshire, where 480 people took part. And these were from a wide range of different ages and backgrounds. We wanted to get people from different social clubs, including WI, sports clubs, doctors and nurses, students, and also social clubs. And we were lucky that we held this then in January and February of 2020, and this was rated a success. There were many people then that attended and gave us their feedback on the Welsh lamb that they tried, and gave us lots of interesting comments, and some were available as well then for videos that we can use then in further marketing and promotion of Welsh lamb, which is great. So what have we been doing since then? Well, we've been planning then for trial 2, where we're looking at the lamb diet effect and also the aging of the lamb meat to understand what effects then can occur then with meat eating quality. And also we've been analysing these data then from the consumer taste panels. And the results from this then will be available as an update for everybody in September with an exciting virtual launch. So for further details, please go on our website and look up RMDP. And for further recipe ideas, please go to eatwelshlamb.com. Thank you for listening.
I enjoyed all of it actually. I thought all the cuts were tasty and juicy, and I really enjoyed them. Yeah.
I thought it was delicious. Don't eat lamb very often, and yet today was superb for me.
I thought it was exceptionally tender and very juicy, and some of them had a noticeable, fantastic aroma. I really enjoyed it.
The samples are being cooked in 2 batches. There'll be 20. These 3 tables will get the first set, and then about 4 minutes later, these 2 tables will get the second set.
Okay, next tray please.
The lamb tonight was absolutely amazing. There was a few that really stood out for me, and it was amazing to try different varieties and actually see that there is a difference in taste, texture with loads of different meats bred by different people.
So it's rich in iron, good source of protein, there's 8 essential amino acids, and it's amazing to think from a very small portion of lamb there's a heck of a lot of nutritional advantage within just that small piece.
I like the fact that it's Welsh and it's sustainable and it's environmentally friendly and it helps mitigate climate change, because I'm very for that, because we do need to think about the future of our planet, and anything to help it in any little way makes a difference.